Ladies and gentlemen, is Ndindi Nyoro William Ruto's project? And will Ndindi Nyoro manage to wrestle the control of the mountain from the grip of Rigathi Gachagua? I'm asking that question because yesterday, Ndindi Nyoro officially dumped UDA party and launched his own political party. And today, Ndindi Nyoro held his first political rally under the new political party in Murang'a.
Na tukifanya hilo jambo, mimi nataka nitangaze hapa, adui yetu kama Kenya ni adui mara mbili. Adui ya kwanza ni uongozi duni ambayo imeletwa na serikali ya William Ruto. Na ndio tunasema hivi sasa tukiwa Murang'a, tunaongeza speed ya kwenda Sugoi. Tunaiweka speed ya 10,000 kilometers per hour.
And from the way Ndindi Nyoro was received, it is very clear that he's going to get a percentage of the voters from Mount Kenya. So the question is he a project of the president to reduce the influence of Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain, or is Ndindi Nyoro just out to craft his own, to chart his own political path away from William Ruto, away from Uhuru Kenyatta, and away from Rigathi Gachagua?
Kama wewe uko katika hurubaro, uko katika hii serikali sasa, na wewe kazi yako imekuwa ni ya kutukana viongozi. Kama wewe umetukana Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, People's Party haina nafasi yako. Enda msikizane na yeye. Kama umekuwa mtu wa kupeleka fujo kanisani, ati ufikiria kuna People's Party. People's Party haina nafasi ya watu wa fujo ya kanisani. Na kwa hivyo wale wanafikiria kwa sababu mimi sinaga fitina na mtu, wale wanafikiria tu watakuja kujificha hapa. I want to tell them I have a bigger agenda. I have more work on my plate. Kama mlikosana na mheshimiwa yeyote, na especially wale wamekosana na mheshimiwa Matiang'i, mnamtukana. Nyinyi mmetukana mheshimiwa Kalonzo. Nyinyi mmekuwa kazi yenu ni kutukana mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. Mnajua kwake nyumbani, muende msikizane na yeye. People's Party haina nafasi ya watu wa matusi na watu wa fujo.
In this video, I want us to analyze that tour of Murang'a by Ndindi Nyoro. Before I do it, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And for this video, I want to make a request to you guys. It's long since I did it. Please, for this video, just press that thumbs up button, and if you can drop your comment. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin by looking at the reception. How was Ndindi Nyoro received in Murang'a today? If you were to ask me, because Ndindi Nyoro just launched the party yesterday, and that yesterday he announced this rally, and the way he was received, I think that was a very good start. Because even Rigathi Gachagua, when he began, he never got that particular reception. Even Linda Wananchi, when they began their tours, you remember they had a rally in Busia, which really did not attract attention of the country. Ndindi Nyoro's rally today, in my view, was well received. Why do you think the reception was that high? And what message was Ndindi Nyoro trying to send by organizing that kind of successful rally? Why? For me, that reception is what should worry Rigathi Gachagua. And let us look at the message, because the reception was good. What was the message? The message was very clear. And finally, he even repeated it in Parliament today. Respect Rigathi, and if you don't respect Rigathi, please do not come to my rally. What was he trying to say? Yesterday, for those who listened to Ndindi Nyoro, he was also very clear that he's welcoming all political formations apart from UDA to his rally. And if you are keen today, he even received defectors. There are MCAs from Kiambu who joined him. There are MCAs elected from Murang'a who joined him. But his message was simple. Please, if you are abusing Rigathi, do not come to my party. Most people interpreted that to mean that he was actually addressing the Murang'a women rep who had expressed interest in joining the party. The truth is, that is a way of softening the ground for him to be accepted. Can Rigathi Gachagua allow that to happen?
We conclude, and rightly so, he is an agent of William Ruto. And that is it. And I talked to a leader who called me the other day. Nikamwambia, wewe, nasikia wananchi wakiuliza huko pande gani? Hata mimi nashindwa, where are you?
Which now takes me to the other question. What was the objective of this rally? Because in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. There's no way Ndindi Nyoro can just decide to form his party, then pick Murang'a for his first rally. There must be an objective which he wanted to achieve. What were some of these objectives? The first objective, if you were to ask me, he was trying to gauge the reaction and the reception of his hometown. Charity begins at home. So I'm 100% sure that by now, Ndindi Nyoro knows so well that the reception was good. He had defectors elected MCAs from Kiambu and from Murang'a. So he wanted to gauge. And I'm 100% sure that from the reaction today and the reception, tomorrow if you were to go to another place, unless Rigathi will interfere with it, he's going to be received well again. And importantly, this visit to Murang'a was intended to send a message to the opposition and to William Ruto himself. And what message was he trying to send to the opposition? Because when you talk of opposition, we are talking of people like Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain. He was telling them that I'm not going to be a pushover. And he was also telling them that I'm actually presidential. If you listen to Ndindi Nyoro's speech yesterday, you can take every other thing from Ndindi Nyoro. But when it comes to economy, the man understands the economy. And that's what most Kenyans are saying Sifuna lacks. So there's possibility that he's trying to send a message to these guys that I'm not a pushover. I can actually become a running mate. In fact, today, if you are to pair Sifuna and Ndindi Nyoro, that would be a good mix, because Sifuna would be dealing with the constitution, the way he's talking about it, and Ndindi Nyoro will be dealing with the matters of economy. So he wanted to send a message to the opposition, and of course also to the president, that I've dumped that camp. And importantly, he's positioning himself as the alternative, particularly his party, as far as Mount Kenya politics is concerned. So I've talked about the reception, I've also talked about the messaging, and now the objective. Let us look at the other issue. Let us also look at the other thing, which for me is the momentum for 2027. If you were to ask me, the intention really of this tour was to gather the momentum for 2027. Let us face the reality. And the reality is one. For Ndindi Nyoro to make a good bid, he must be accepted. So the reason we went to Murang'a was to attract that huge crowd, so that the next time he will organize another rally somewhere in the mountain, he will be able to sustain. Because if this event today had flopped, he was not going to recover. So he wanted to gain that momentum. I don't know how Rigathi will deal with this, but I'm seeing something is going to happen there. And importantly, he wanted to attract aspirants. And you could tell from the rally, the placards of very many aspirants. But importantly, the fact that there were elected MCAs who defected as far as from Kiambu, we are talking of some from Murang'a. Tomorrow, if you are to go somewhere, you'll expect more aspirants to join him. And that's going to be a very huge plus for him. Because if you were to ask me, he wants to be the alternative. For those who cannot get space in Rigathi Gachagua, he wants to be a very strong alternative for them. And also, of course, there are also those who believe that Rigathi might mess up his party by having preferences. He will have that platform for them. And for me, more aspirants will start joining him. And lastly, I'm looking at Ndindi Nyoro as someone who is positioning himself as the face of the mountain as far as 2027 politics is concerned. Why am I saying this? Rigathi Gachagua has a party, DCP, which is the dominant party. Rigathi Gachagua is the most popular from the mountain. But Rigathi Gachagua has already picked John Methu as his points person. In fact, in case they will demand the position of the running mate, Rigathi would push for John Methu. But if you have to compare Rigathi or Methu and Ndindi Nyoro, and you give the Kenyans to pick, as much as it took Ndindi Nyoro to make a choice, most Kenyans view him as someone who cannot make those decisions. I tend to think that Ndindi Nyoro has a bit of goodwill and support from Kenyans. His track record as the member of parliament for Kiharu makes Kenyans love him. So he wants to position himself as now, if you look at the mountain, you don't see only Rigathi. You also see someone in the name of Ndindi Nyoro. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, Makwiny. Bye-bye.